Welcome back to my channel. So we'll continue from where we left off on the last video, which was part 7. So this will be in part 8. We continue to look into the UI that we use in Angular to create for our Ocean Spring Boot security Keycloak application. So stay tuned. Right, so in our app config, we need to add a HTTP client module, because if we don't, then this is why we get this error that says the injector is a null for HTTP client. In our app configuration, we need provider, and the providers so we can see things properly. We are going to also import HTTP client. We are going to also, I'm just going to bring in Keycloak and the HTTP client method. That's the one that I'm going to bring in. I'm not going to bring anything else in. I'm just gonna put that one here. This is imported from Angular Common HTTP, so hopefully we have enough to fix the HTTP client error. Okay, it says it's not injectable, so now we did have enough to fit it in, and that works. We need to bring in Keycloak for that so that we can log in and do other stuff, right? Error failed, adapter is undefined and all that stuff. Yeah, that's fine. You see, this is what happens because there's nothing in the cart. It now shows the error that says no item in the cart, and that is the bit where, if I could go back here, this is what's happening because we do not have anything in the cart. Now what we have to do is find a way to log in, but we haven't really linked it properly. So we're supposed to get Keycloak to jump and come in so that we can log in. And adapter undefined, Keycloak service, Keycloak, blah, 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 login. So I know that we have to put something in here, but I'm just trying to see if I know what we have to put in there. We have to add the Keycloak service, the adapt and all that, but I'm trying to, but this is enough to show us that we need to add Keycloak to the configuration file. This part of the system is very important because we've got our buttons, we've got everything, right? We've told it to, when we click on it, make a call to Keycloak, right? Keycloak now needs to, let's say we want to log in, right? If we log in, this is what Keycloak will do. Okay, so this dot Keycloak login, so it's supposed to pop out with the Keycloak login. Like for example, if I wanted to log in here, we're supposed to, do we have the button there? Yeah, we have the button login there. If I wanted to log in here, we're supposed to click this, and then the Keycloak login will appear for us to log in, and something isn't happening, and we need to add that Keycloak details into the app config, otherwise it won't work. The reason why we have this error is definitely that we need to add Keycloak to our configuration app. This is why I left it out. So the part where we need to add Keycloak, we can now make use of Keycloak, otherwise we can't use Keycloak. Yeah, I'm just going to add in bits by bits until and then we see more errors, and then we actually understand why those errors are there. We're calling this one from Angular Core. It is a must that we add that one. Then we are calling our Keycloak service from under the services Keycloak, our Keycloak service. We are importing that one here. So at the top of our thing, we got function here, which call this service in our Keycloak service, from our Keycloak service to initialize. So we will then put that one here, and let me just give it some space so that it looks different. That one is not there yet, so let's go into Keycloak and let's put in that bit for initializing that method function. We are making some, we are returning some details from Keycloak, right? We make sure that on load we check if the user is logging, yeah, and all sort of stuff. So let me put that one in here because I left that one out for a reason. And the reason why I left that one out is because I want to see the error so that we can now go through it and explain ourselves. So we know that we needed to add this one in there. We are now able to log into Keycloak. There seems to be a problem of the redirection, but we could, and I need to fix that problem. Yeah, so right now let's try understand this method, and then we will start looking into that bit as well. So this Keycloak initialize, this .keycloak.initialize is an official JavaScript adapter method to initialize the Keycloak client. On load, check SSO. This tells Keycloak try to silently check if the user is already logged in. If the user has an existing section, for example, another type of previously logged in, they will be automatically authenticated. No redirect or login pop-up happens. Yeah, so if the user is already logged in, we don't need to redirect or log in again because authentication is there. Check login iframe disables the background iframe check for section expiration. Is good for simple setups or when you don't need automatic re-login checks. If the user is authenticated, we get our user profile. So if the user is authenticated, so the then.user, if the user is authenticated, get us our user profile, then return it. If not, if anything goes wrong and the Keycloak server is down, we log this particular error and return everything as false. Keycloak initializes. Like I said, I need to bring all this into the front end because right now I'm just logging into the console and the user has no idea what's going on. So we need to be user friendly. There seems to be an error somewhere. Okay, it's gone. Okay, so there's more that we need to add to this app config until this happens, because right now we've got this, trying to get more information on this thing to see if we will explain a little bit more on the cart, and we will explain a little bit more on this cart and what it's doing once I've got things working. Actually, it's this one, yeah. Once I've got this one, once I've got things working. But we are sorry, invalid parameter redirect yes. Okay, so I see the problem. Because we have the redirection URL as 4200 port, but we are now looking at 5066 port because this is what's located to us, and we have another service running on 42000. Our now client is saying there's a redirection problem because I cannot see your 4200 and our port is now 5066. So now what I'll do, I'll stop this one. On the other side, I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to try and stop this one. I'm going to clear this one. Let's see if this one works. Let's hope that it picks 4200. Now let me go back. Let me go back in. It's gonna do that, isn't it? Invalid. Okay, let me just do it again, because right now we have, let me just go back in. Yeah, so now we can log in. So let me go back and let me just copy this because it's better use on the other side. On the other one it's easier. We can now check. Okay, so now we can log in. Okay, so we can log in as one of the users. Let me just log in while you are here. See, we can log in and we can see Sophia, welcome, this and that. So we need to fix all these. It looks a mess, but we will get this sorted and done. Essentially, we have our details in the cart. We now need the home page, which contains all the products. Once we've got this looking better, it contains all the product, and then we can now work with the cart, add products to the cart, and then we have our cart sorted in the navbar. Okay, I'm gonna have to end this part right here. We pick it up on the next video. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.